Welcome to Highly Critical, where I look at movies, games, TV shows highly critically. Anyway, so today we're going to be taking a look at Reminiscence, which is a movie that was free on HBO Max and also came out in theaters. I'm just going to let you know what I thought of it. It starts out very dystopian, with the waters rising up, and you get this whole monologue intro by Hugh Jackman playing Nick Bannister about how the world is really bad and people just want to live in their memories. Like, nostalgia is the key to this movie, from beginning to end. And as you go through this process of him explaining how people just live in their memories using his little memory machine, he lets you know that it's also a detective noir story, where he's looking for this very, very pretty woman named Rebecca Ferguson, who's playing May. And you get his partner, I guess, or assistant, bodyguard. I'm not quite sure what she is, to be honest with you, but she's the main character. It's Thandie Newton, who I love. Thandie Newton, God. But she plays Emily, who has absolutely no character development throughout the movie, honestly. But you get to see these memories between Hugh Jackman's character Nick and Rebecca Ferguson's character May. And the intimacy between them at that point just doesn't feel earned. But shortly after that, you get the twist where you move into the main plot of the movie, where he's finds a clue finally leading to where she is, and then just goes off on a tangent trying to figure out what she's doing and where she is and why she was there. The noir detective feel is okay. I mean, it definitely gets to where it's going. You know, I don't know. I don't know if I really like it that much, though. But they do introduce a kind of interesting aspect, and where, it's not just a detective noir, it's a specific one where the detective has like some kind of problem, either alcoholism or gambling or drugs. Pick one of the three. They've been used a million times, but in this case his addiction is trying to solve the mystery, or at least doing what he thinks might solve the mystery by going into his memories over and over again. And they also say very early in the movie that there's a condition, I think, called white braining, where you can get stuck in a memory over and over and over. But that comes up later. Anyway, so the use of the memory tech isn't exactly new. I mean, we've seen like stuff like that in Source Code and Inception especially. Inception really, you kind of see an influence of that movie on this one for sure. But I mean, the memory tech has a good presentation because they use it to accentuate the plot in some areas pretty well. The lighting and camera work is very good in my opinion, though. Like the long shadows, the dark casting, it's pretty good. I really liked it. Gives the movie a lot of depth when you're watching it at some point. But it does get a bit jarring as the story progresses, and it doesn't have such great moments, the story there. That's when all the he finally gets into this like really seedy underworld bar who's run by Daniel Wu. And it's like, if you saw that scene in any movie where it would actually make sense, it would probably be okay. But this movie just goes like hammering just one point after another, one scene after another. This supposed to mean something to the movie, but it's also jumbled that it doesn't feel like it goes together. It feels discontinued throughout. But during that scene, you do get this like weird John Wick style action type scene with Thandie Newton coming in, and for the whole movie they've already been alluding that she's such a badass, like she messed people up, and it's Yeah, just no. It wasn't good. I mean, the scene wasn't even done that well, in my opinion. I've seen good action movies. That's not it. And it's just plopped in there like, okay, Danny Newton, John Wick, cool. So, right after that action scene, I realize I'm about halfway through the movie. And I think this is going to end up being one of those kind of like, it's like good dialogue, well acted, cyberpunk light movies. So I go forward with that expectation, and to be honest, I'm a little. The memory machine keeps showing memories of these deep moments between the main characters, like Jackman and Ferguson, especially. And it's insanely cool how good it is. Isn't that great in the main story? About this point of the movie where you realize that the whole living in your memories morality question has just left the building. Like, nobody cares anymore. People are just living in and out of their memories, white braining themselves half the time, and like, it's like, who cares? So, whatever. But he, the main character, Nick, he like keeps going into the memory machine even though he knows it's a risk. Everybody's trying to tell him not to, but it is like an addiction. So that's what it is. Reminds you of how today's social media works, where it's just a lot of nostalgia for the most part, especially when you come into contact with certain people who worship a certain decade or time in the past, not even realizing what that decade or time really was like. But it, like I said, they just kind of gloss right over that in the movie anyway. So he does a little more sleuthing, gets a few more, like random, like here's a clue, and now it's all falling into place. The domino thing with the clues, like I've never liked that when you're like stressing so hard that the mystery was so hard to solve in the first place. Like, come on, man. You could have found something. Or just give it up, I mean, I love is addictive, but jeez. Then you have a big reveal that she's like this thief who was actually trying to steal something from somebody, and that's why she was going into her memories, and that's why, she got to know him in the first place, so she could steal somebody else's memories. I don't know. It's very convoluted, and it's not told. Like I said before, it's very jumbled and discontinuous how it feels throughout the movie. Like, you get taken out of the movie a lot just by how discontinuous. But after a few foot chases, the big reveal of that, and a few more clues, you get the obligatory part where his partner and friend is trying to convince him that he's going to get a case of burner brain damage if he doesn't stop looking at his memories over and over and over again. So, a few more chasing, one more like fist fight scene, which I didn't even really. I mean, in this day and age, foot chases and like light fist fighting scenes just don't do it for me. I don't know, especially when you're trying to go for like John Wick action, like one part of the movie, and then you're going with like Faltese Falcon foot chases another part of the movie. I don't get it. But I mean, some of the fight scenes do have like good choreography, but they still have that quick cut stuff that is kind of annoying. See, they attempt to be a little more meta with the cringy place scene that was. It was clever the way that the character did it and the writing in for it, I'll be honest. But it just wasn't. I mean, like I said, when you're putting. It's like bad scene, good scene, bad scene, good scene. Over and over and over again. It really takes you out of the movie. So. In the end, the bad guys, get what they deserve. Friends are reunited and their friendship saved. And when you get the bad dialogue between those two characters, it just feels haphazard, and the story had no meaning to it whatsoever. And in the end, it just turns out to be like reverse Inception, where instead of the dude trying to make sure that he's not caught in his memory loop, he purposefully puts himself into the memory loop, like giving in to his addiction of the movie. There's no lesson in the movie whatsoever, you know. But whatever. I don't know. I did not enjoy the movie, to be honest. So I'm gonna give it a rating of puff and pass, which means I'm gonna watch it one time, never gonna watch this movie again. Alright, well, thank you very much. Like and subscribe. Have a good day. I need some food, dude. God.